The first slide that I would like to share with you contains two different bodies, two different three-dimensional objects. The reason I selected these as to be the first slides is because each of these bodies has tremendously large amount, relatively speaking, of internal free spaces. There are a lot of emptiness within these bodies. Because of that, there are undercuts and overcuts, which we will explain later in the seminar. But let's look at the picture on the right-hand side. It's a motor. It's painted gray. The left picture is white, meaning that we can actually build three-dimensional objects in different colors. We'll talk about it later. But the picture on the right-hand side, it's a motor. The motor is one solid device, one solid system. Obviously, when we will mass produce it, it will contain many separate parts, components that will be assembled together, put together. But right now, as a rapid prototyping, it's one solid device. And we can see internal empty spaces within it. The question is, how can we actually print something that has an internal space, internal free space, empty spaces, no material? We'll talk about it in a minute. There are several technologies that do that. We'll go into that, but right now I'm presenting to you a solid body with empty spaces, and I would like to share with you something very interesting. Let's look at this body. This body has an internal device, an internal component, which is movable. Again, the entire body, together with this particular piece that moves, were printed in one cycle. It's basically a solid device. It has undercutting and overcutting, as you can see. Even though this moves, it was actually manufactured and printed at the same time. The reason that this particular component can move compared to the base component is because the connection between these two, where the two wheels are, used to have a material that was actually sprayed out, didn't glue, allow that particular device to move compared to this particular device. We will talk about it specifically how it's being done, but I'm presenting to you a three-dimensional object that has movable things within it. Another example I would like to share with you is this small device, this small part. And what's interesting about this part, that it turns, it's free. It can rotate, and it was actually manufactured as a one solid device, although there are movable parts inside. We will talk about it, we will explain, I'll describe to you the technology, how it's being done, but I need you right now at this stage of the seminar to understand that although there are moving things inside, free things and also empty spaces, it was actually printed as one solid device.